When I was 5, I sat in Sunday school and I heard, "For God so loved the world." I knew that meant me and the other Christian kids, my parents, their friends, and the president. But the whole world? I mean, everyone? And that sounds like a dream. And as I grew older, I'm afraid that's what it became. You see, when the pastors start preaching and the teachers start teaching, creating divides that only exist in our minds, and now we're thumping Bibles just to pass the time. Where once God sent his son to make a way, now we're closing up the gates for fear of some soul-corroding disease, for fear that we too may become worldly. Can I confess, I don't even know what that means. But if you were raised a Christian kid, maybe some of the things that you did were following lists to save face, checking boxes to work your way towards grace, do's and don'ts, yeses and no's, don't cuss, don't drink, don't smoke, don't talk to them, read this, not that, look here, not there, nope, not there, don't, just don't. And maybe as you grow up, that'll be helpful, or maybe it won't. Because if you don't get the why, then why even try? See, it's about the heart. It's about the intent, not some morality construct for us to invent. It's like this: if I say the F word to protest oppression, is God offended by this act of aggression? Or is it possible he's more pleased by standing up for the least of these? I think about my friend Dan when I was 16, and I told him we couldn't be friends anymore because he didn't love Jesus as much as me. But my mom said, "Son, Jesus is love." And she brought Dan into our home, and she loved him like a son. I see him now and then. He's got a family of his own. He repaired and rebuilt his broken home. And I imagine that love and blessings fill those halls. And I'm glad my mother built bridges instead of putting up walls. Can I ask this question? Why is the word secular even in our Christian vernacular? You mean I can't give Harry Potter to my daughter? You mean if I listen to Jesus Walks by Kanye West, I'm somehow out of God's will and I might not get blessed? Or maybe there's wisdom. Maybe there's beauty in this world God made. Maybe there's even wisdom in what his creation creates. Being in this world means looking for meaning instead. And maybe God's in everything, just like he said. And if he is in everything, then isn't he in us? And if he is in us, then we are glorious, and we can be in this world and not fade or rust, not get corrupted, but shine a light in the dust. We can stand the test of time, but where do you stand on that line? In the world, but not of the world. In the world, but not of the world. In it, but not of it. All sinners are created equal, but somehow we're above it? No. Just no. So are we building bridges or putting up walls? Are we hanging up the phone? Or are we making long distance calls to reach those in far away places? Black, white, brown, blue, trans, straight, and gay faces matter to Jesus. I think about my cousin, who I know God loves, but sometimes it feels like my family doesn't. See, she can't come around on holidays anymore because although they say it's an open door, they can't share a meal with her because of who she is. But wait, isn't that exactly what Jesus did? I know it's a slogan, I know it's lame, I know it's cheesy, but it's still true. I ask myself all the time, what would Jesus do? Because the truth is, he would hang out with the prostitutes. The Jesus I know wore sandals and not a three-piece suit. The real Jesus would cry with the victims. He would get dirty. He would love hard. He even broke the law when the system was flawed. The real Jesus would give a home to the refugees. He'd bake Adam and Steve a wedding cake, and he'd do it for free. You know what? He'd bring wine to the wedding. His grace says he's forgiving and forgetting. He's building bridges, not walls, and the greatest bridge he ever built was the cross. I'm 33, the same age Jesus was when he died on a tree. And I still see that Sunday school class in my head. I speak that same verse over my kids in their beds. We've seen it around in so many places, on t-shirts, on Twitter, on athletes' faces. But I hope we know what it means, and I hope we get it right. Because John 3:16 is not some catchy slogan. It's a way of life. Thank you.